Oh my god, hey, and welcome back to my kingdom of stagey isolation. If you are new to my channel, I am Mickey Joe and I am obsessed with all things theatre. As you may have noticed, I'm wearing my limited edition Dear Evan Hansen First Performance London hat. It's got writing on the side somewhere. There, found it. Because today I want to talk a little bit about the London production of Dear Evan Hansen. I wasn't sure if I wanted to make this video. I thought for a long time about it. Do I? Don't I? I've decided it is something I want to talk about because it's some questionable behaviour that I think needs to be called out. I already posted about this on my Instagram, which had a huge response. People were shocked with what they read, and I'm going to talk to you about it today.
Dear Evan Hansen, what's going down in the West End?
This is one of those news stories that starts on theatre Twitter and sort of doesn't go anywhere because it's not overly glamorous, it has no huge names attached to it, but I do think it needs to be addressed, so I'm going to bring it to the people. Essentially, what has happened, it was announced that the London production of Dear Evan Hansen wasn't going to open until early 2021. For a lot of people, this wasn't a surprise. They'd seen the writing on the wall. Obviously, productions have been announcing their closures a month at a time and sort of rolling it back. For most of the West End, they've said, okay, we're now not going to open till the end of August. Now not till the end of October. And they've been doing it 1 month at a time. What Dear Evan Hansen has done is now officially said, definitely not until early 2021, as early as we can. The controversy comes when Nicole Raquel Dennis, who currently plays Alana Beck in the show, as well as a few other cast members, tweeted their disappointment that this is how they were finding out. They literally found out the news on Twitter. They weren't contacted by their agents, by the company manager, by the producers. No one involved in the production had contacted them. They were finding out on social media, which sucks. There's literally no way to dress this up. That's a horrible thing to do in a pandemic. I really relate to this because I found out I was meant to be starting a new job that I interviewed for virtually amongst all of this going on, and then because of the circumstances, it was no longer possible for me to do that and the job disappeared. I had the courtesy of a phone call and it still really sucked. It ruined my entire week. But these guys haven't even had that. They've literally found out about their jobs, about their livelihoods on social media. I think a lot of times because acting in the West End is so glamorised, you forget that these are real people and this is their job and this is their livelihood, this is their work. And it's not just actors as well. We are talking about actors, we are talking about backstage crew, we may be talking about front of house staff, lighting designers. All of these people in all of these different teams, this affects a huge amount of people who have suddenly found out for them and their families that they are not going to be going back to work and haven't had the decency of being contacted properly about this. From what I understand, the right way that this should have happened is producers or company managers should have contacted agents who should have then spoken with their clients, or company managers should have contacted cast directly, because when you then go into a West End show, that becomes your dialogue rather than all going through an agent. The day-to-day stuff wouldn't go through an agent. But not Twitter. Definitely not Twitter. I'm going to read you out some of the tweets from different cast members just to let you know what their reactions were. Lauren Ward, who plays Cynthia Murphy, tweeted, "I love what I do, but there have been many times in my career where I have not felt valued. To be non-essential. Finding out on Twitter just brings that home. Join your union. We are stronger together. Be safe, be smart, be frugal. Hard times continue." Sort of relating it there to the financial impact that this is going to have and talking about unionising, really talking about that this is not an ethical way for actors to be treated and that this is not okay. Nicole Raquel Dennis, after initially tweeting about being disappointed that she found out on Twitter, tweeted that the show will still go on. "I was finishing in September to move on to Dreamgirls," she's going to be Effie in the Dreamgirls tour, "but thought there might be a chance of going back. Found out on Twitter that I would not," with the little upside down smiling emoji that means she's not really smiling. She's now done with the show. She's not going to have a chance to play that part again, and that is over. That's a whole chapter that has ended, and it's a really sucky way to find something like that out. Hopefully she goes on to amazing things in Dreamgirls and it can eclipse this entire experience. Others of the cast did not react as strongly on social media. They were more focused on positivity and when the show would reopen. Jack Loxton tweeted, "See you all next year, lovely people, we'll be back." Sam Tutty, who plays Evan, tweeted, "Keep your head up, guys. Just imagine how awesome it's going to be when we're back." And this is what a lot of people are clinging onto. My favourite reaction, Alex Thomas Smith tweeted, "Shows deciding who to tell first about being closed until 2021, and tweeted RuPaul's Drag Race meme of Valentina looking at which lipstick to choose on All Stars with cast and press. That is, I am right in the middle of the Venn diagram between the interests of RuPaul's Drag Race memes and West End theatre gossip. That is where I live, in the intersection of those two things. So that was that story, and a lot of other people were shocked and saddened to find out about this. Cut to the next day, the very next day, and the same announcement came about the Book of Mormon, currently playing at the Prince of Wales Theatre. They announced that this production would not be reopening until early 2021 at its earliest possible convenience. We start seeing the same tweets from Book of Mormon cast members that they had not been informed prior to this announcement. They were finding out on social media as well. It does not take a super sleuth to work out the connection between these two shows. They are both produced at theatres owned by Sir Cameron Mackintosh. Throughout this, if Andrew Lloyd Webber has been pioneering and pushing forwards and trying to get theatres reopened as soon as possible, Sir Cameron Mackintosh has been taking the opposite approach. He's sort of the other side of that coin, where he's been very conservative. There have been a lot of allegations of him getting rid of entire casts, downsizing on productions. You can go watch my video about what may or may not be happening with the Phantom of the Opera in terms of scaling that down so it's cheaper to run in the future. Obviously, that's already happened with Les Mis. It's clear at this point that he is about cost cutting, about saving money during this time. It would appear both of these productions have announced to the press that they are not going to be reopening until early 2021 before letting their cast know, before notifying the people working on those productions. If nobody's sure, the way that this works is producers via their PR representatives for shows will send press releases and announcements and emails out to news outlets and individuals and bloggers. I get these sometimes as well as a theatre blogger, and that is what you then see people posting on their blogs. That's what you then see What's on Stage posting and the stage posting. So when you see big news happens and everyone tweets it at the same time and they tweet sort of the same specifications, they've been sent a press release to tweet. I don't want to call out bloggers, but there have been a lot of moments through this whole lockdown period when a lot of people have put these clickbaity headlines on a lot of blog posts about this show is closing, this show is closing, this show is closing, and performers have seen this and asked them repeatedly, please do not publish these unsubstantiated rumours, because that does affect people's mental health as well when they see these things that will affect their livelihoods. From the number of news outlets this was reported at, it does seem to have been that a genuine press release was sent out rather than rumour and speculation. What's happened here is producers have sent out these press releases before contacting their cast, which seems like a pretty indefensible, certain decision that they've made. They have actively decided to send that email first. Someone tweeted the other day that we live in this beautiful time where you can send two simultaneous emails very easily, even if you let the cast know at exactly the same time, which still wouldn't be ideal. It's not very difficult to do. It seems incredibly lazy to just completely forego that step of notifying the people who work on the production. I sound like a broken record about this, but I'm incensed with rage. So Adam Bailey, who is currently in the cast of the Book of Mormon, tweets, "It hurts to find this out on Twitter rather than being told by our employers. Sad to think we're not even thought of when the entire company and agents work so bloody hard. It's clear everyone's disappointed by these decisions." A lot of other West End performers have reacted to this news as well. Waylon Jacobs, who was recently in the cast of Hamilton, said, "Producers, listen up. It doesn't take 2 minutes to inform a whole company about reopening, closing, not getting jobs, etc. These are people's livelihoods you're messing with." Melanie Labarry said, "Heartbreaking and appalling. While we understand that in some cases tough decisions have to be made, sometimes it's forgotten that people are our business." Alice Fern replied, "Sometimes it feels like we are banging our head against the walls." It feels like this is just one of the latest of performers taking to Twitter to talk about how dehumanizing the industry can be. And that's not because it's this soulless machine. These are people making these conscious decisions, making the decision not to give actors feedback after auditions, not to let them know whether or not they've got the part. It's very similar circumstances, I think, to the one we've got here. As a result of this, Equity UK, who are the union for actors in the UK, have now got involved and released a statement. They've said Equity is aware of some cast and stage management teams finding out about later show reopenings via social media. Our agreements have protections to guard against this unfair practice. Our solidarity is with all members affected. And this is where unionising becomes so important, and the existence of Equity to fight in the corners of these performers becomes so important as well. This is a very contentious issue. I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments section down below. I feel like my feelings on this, it's just completely unfair for these actors to be finding out this way, and I don't understand why they weren't notified. It seems like the easiest thing in the world to have let them know before sending out this information to websites, to journalists. I really don't understand. The only possible devil's advocate argument I could think of would be that if you let a cast know, the information might leak that way. Someone tweeted they wondered if the same thing had happened with the cast of Six recently. From what I have gathered, the cast of Six were told about the cancellation of the tour drive-in before the news went out. But I found out that the Six tour got cancelled a couple minutes before all of the tweets appeared because of chatter, because someone had found out from the cast and they had let me know. Nothing travels faster in the West End than rumours. And rumours are one thing, but a fully written press release is quite a different thing. Essentially, at any time, producers should be treating their casts with dignity and respect, but especially now in these circumstances when people's mental health is so likely to be affected, there has never been a better time for us to refocus our efforts on treating people like people. Again, let me know what you think. I would love to hear some opinions on this. I hope that has helped explain some of the drama that is going on. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out some of my other videos explaining what's going on in the West End, and make sure to subscribe to my Stagey YouTube channel for much more Stagey content coming very soon. I hope everyone is keeping well and that you have a stagey day.
For 10 more seconds, I'm Mickey Joe Theatre. Oh my god, hey. Thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!